Hey everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to work a single crochet border around any flat piece. Today I'm going to be making a border around this square, but you can apply this technique to any flat piece or even a curved piece if you want, as long as it's worked back and forth. So as you can see right now, I've just finished the last row on my crochet washcloth, and so I've just finished this last single crochet row on the left. And I'm just going to start working my border. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm actually going to not turn my work like I normally do at the end of each row. And actually I'm going to start working down the left side of my square. So this is the side of all the rows that I've been working. So I'm just going to turn my work so that I'm actually just going to be working left across the sides of the rows. So the basic technique with working a border is we're just going to crochet single crochet stitches, and we're just going to use these holes along the border to insert our hook in, since there aren't any actual stitches to build off of. However, we are going to do a special technique at each of the four corners, and we're just going to work a single crochet, a chain stitch, and then another single crochet into each of the four corners to just help create like a little point. And we'll just go all around all four corners, all four edges, including the top, and then we'll just slip stitch to the first stitch, and I'll show you how to do that too. So let's get started. So since this is a corner, I'll just take this out. I'm going to do that technique that I mentioned. So I'm just going to insert my hook into like the nearest, into like what I think is like the nearest like kind of hole for the corner. It doesn't have to be, we're going to be a little bit approximate over here because we can actually be so mathematically accurate and count for every single row, but we're just going to do our best, and usually it works out and the border looks really nice and clean. So I'm just going to insert my hook into the corner, and I'm going to work a single crochet stitch, and then I'm going to chain one, and then do another single crochet stitch right next in the same hole as the first one. And so now that that's done, I'm going to begin working my border down the side. So in this work, I've got single crochet rows down the top and bottom, and I've also got some half double crochet rows in the middle. So the ratio is usually one single crochet stitch to every one single crochet row, but for half double crochets, I'm going to do 3 single crochet stitches for every 2 half double crochet rows. And if you're not completely accurate, that's like totally fine. But we can just like do our best. So I'm just going to insert my hook into the next gap for the next row, work another single crochet stitch, and keep going. And this is my first half double crochet row, so I'm going to try to do 3 single crochet stitches for every 2 rows. And I'm just inserting my hook into the nearest hole wherever I can find it. And as you can see, it's already kind of coming out nicely and adding like an even, nice finish to the side. I really love adding borders to anything that I work flat because otherwise the edges I feel like just look a little bit unfinished. And also like if you really need to, you can like continue building up on the side of it as well. So it just opens up a lot more possibilities for what kinds of shapes you can make with your crochet. So I'm still going, and I'm just trying to make sure I'm kind of doing this somewhat evenly. Yeah. So I'll just demonstrate the entire first side of this one, and I'll get to the corner, and then I'll meet you at the very end when I show you how to do the slip stitch. So it's looking good so far. I like how it's turning out. So now that we're back to single crochet rows, I'm just going to do 1 in every single row. And you can see that even though sometimes there are some bumps, they kind of just like tend to kind of straighten out or even out by the time we crochet the border on them. So this is a really, really nice technique for just making everything much smoother and easier to work with. Okay, so now we're at our next corner, and as you can see, the corner is like kind of right here. So I'm just gonna pick a place to work my corner into. So I'm gonna use this hole right here. So I'm going to do a single crochet, and then I'm going to do a chain, and then one more single crochet into the same place right there. And that's my corner. And then I'll be working along the bottom. So the bottom is really easy because with the sides we had to kind of negotiate these rows, but the bottom is just, we'll just work one single crochet stitch into every single of these chain stitches in the bottom, and that'll be pretty straightforward. So, and then going back up, the side will just be the same as the first side down. So I will meet you when I get back to the top. Alright, so we're almost back at the top, and as you can see, I've done my border on the bottom, and I've gone up the side, and it looks pretty straight, and it adds just like a really nice finish. So I'm just going to do the last corner using that single crochet, chain, single crochet technique. So I'm just going to do it here, single crochet, chain, single crochet. Alright, so now we're back at where we started on the top left corner, and we've made our border going all the way around, and you can see it looks really neat and nice. If you want to make it, it's already pretty square, and I love like the finish of the border adds, but if you want to make it super square, you can always block it by just pinning it down on some blocking mats and using a steam iron, or just like soaking it and then like leaving it to dry. And if you've got pins that you can pin it down to the exact like measurements and shape that you want, it can also give a really good finish. So would recommend that for like baby blankets or like coasters or anything that you want to be like really square or like just a perfect shape. But we just want to finish off now, and so we're just going to do that with a simple slip stitch. So you can just identify the first stitch in your border, which is going to be this one, and insert your hook through, and then yarn over and pull through your work, but also pull through the loop on your hook. And that is your slip stitch. So as you can see now, it lays nice and flat, and there's not the little jog from when you're crocheting around. So all that's left is to just finish it off and weave in your ends. So I'll show you how to do that now, but we are basically done. So to finish off your work, you're just going to need a tapestry needle like this, or in a pair of scissors. So I'm just going to cut my yarn. I'm going to give it about 8 to 10 inches, and just cut that, and then I'm going to pull the my yarn just through the loop so that now it basically won't come apart anymore. So after this, it's basically secure, but I want to kind of hide the end, and so I'm just going to thread my yarn through the needle. Here's a neat trick: if you pull it around the narrow side, makes it a lot easier to thread your needle. And then I'm just going to kind of hide the yarn. So you can do this by deciding which side you want to be the front. This is the front side, this is the back side. So I'll kind of like weave it a couple times, and I'll try to tuck it in on the back side. So what you want to do first is just secure it. So I'm just going to like weave it back and forth several times so that it's a bit, so it won't come out super easily. You can go up or down or to the side. Diagonally sometimes can be a problem because it might be, most crochet stitches kind of like go horizontally or vertically, and so it might show really easily. So I think to the side or up and down are a better bet. So after you've weaved it in and out a couple times, I'll just like flip it over to the back side, wherever you're more okay with it showing, and I'll just like kind of weave it under a few other crochet stitches just to like secure the end going an opposite way. So like kind of weaving the end so that it goes in an L shape or kind of like curved can sometimes help it not come out, so that so that there are kind of multiple points where like it won't, it'll be secure. So I'll just like pull it under the back right here, and you can see I'm not pulling under like the full stitch so that it's just really pinned to the back. And then I'll just trim it right at the place that's coming out. And you're done. And I'm going to weave in the bottom end as well, but now you know how to do that. And so your washcloth is complete. And I hope you enjoyed crocheting it and that these videos are all really helpful. Thank you so much and happy crocheting.